Shared happiness is a concept that's appeared in society, and well, if we are to take into account the psychology of well-being, happiness is always good when shared, right? When everyone is happy, well, technically there is communion there. But when people are not happy, well, the point is there is no communion there. There is just some friendship, there is something, because the vibration is somewhat lower. Now, obviously, there are cycles in life. But if you want to rule people, you create a new concept, which is called shared happiness. Shared happiness is an illusion. If this whole world is about control, then the point is emotions have to be used against you. So how do you do it? Well, the reverse engineering of shared happiness, which, funnily speaking, I called shared happiness. Now, shared happiness is technically that illusion that you see, and obviously you see it on mainstream news, mainstream media, where everyone is technically happy. It feels almost like you are at psychiatry, right? Everyone is happy, it seems that there is literally no problem. You go to social media, you see people that are always happy, they're always fulfilled, they're showing off with their cars, they're showing off with their perfect lives. It's like everything on this world is perfectly perfect, and basically there is no little problem. But life means a struggle. Life is basically a sum of problems. How do people, solve them? Well, true people actually do the hard things to make sure that their life becomes easy. People who are poor only do the easy things, and that's why their life is hard, right? I wanted to say that's why their hard life. But the point is very simple. Richness is a state and poverty is another state. How you do things and how much responsibility you take over your life usually goes on towards that. The whole life is about cycles of domination. You go to school, you go to kindergarten, you go to school, you go to work, then you go to your grave. Because technically, life is all about stealing you all your energy that you have. Because you're nothing else than a battery, right? You are a battery in this life, and you must not realize that you are technically a battery. You are surrounded by toxic people, you are living in a toxic society, and, well, everything is also repetitive, which is toxic to the brain. Go to work, come back, go to work again, come back, eat, sleep, go to work again. The point is, sleeping is holy in this matrix because it gives you the energy you need. Toxic people need other people's energy because they are too invested in the black hole that they have created, right? Their black hole of emotions that simply demands even more energy to be sustained. And society also functions like that. The mainstream and the such, religion, separation, hatred, all the energy is put out, right? When you're angry, when you're happy, you don't call it bursting into emotions for nothing, right? Because every emotion that you put out is simply emitted outwards. That is why people who are empathic can feel other people's pains without them even talking or without being even close. Because everything that you behave as is simply put out. People who are capable of reading energies, they are capable of feeling that because they have levels of perception. Right? They have transcended certain levels of ignorance, which is nothing else than, well, an anesthetic, which keeps you away from the pains of life. But this anesthetic is needed because you have to go through certain levels of life. You can't experience what it is like to be a douchebag if you are simply an empathic person, so you need those levels of ignorance. Of course, you create karma and you have to pay for that, but, well, life energies require the experience and, well, going through certain cycles of karma so that you can liberate yourself from that. Now, when it comes to shared happiness is literally everywhere. You see advertisements, everyone is smiling, the product is perfect, there is literally no downside. You see always children are happy, you see mothers are always happy with their children in their arms. You know, everything is disgustingly happy in this sick society because this actually has to be turned against you. When you learn that your emotions must not take control over you, they will simply flow through you, and once they do, you become more pleasant because you're no longer falling prey to overthinking. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like that? That's what makes most people unpleasant. It's a never-ending cycle apparently, and it goes on and on and on. The more you invest into that, the more mentally and emotionally toxic you become, and you invest more and more energy into that, so you will need more energy, so you'll become more vampiric. You'll become a people pleaser. You'll become technically anything that will allow you to gain, or better said, steal energy from others. Don't forget, he who angers you controls you. He who speaks also controls you, because when you pay attention to actually the words themselves in the language. You pay with your attention. Your attention is your energy. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So technically, those who have your attention have some of your energy as well. Make sure that when this happens, it's a transaction, that you also get something in return, and something useful, because you also get something in return. When you're giving someone toxic your attention, you're getting some of their toxicity in return, because everything in this world is a transaction. But people are foolish enough to want to be independent. Independency is basically the ultimate peak of ignorance, because nothing in this life is independent. You live in a world where your breath means taking air from outside inside of you, and you put something out the same time, right? In one, let's say, cycle of breathing, right? You breathe in, you breathe out. That is a transaction. You breathe in something, you breathe out something. So you can use that to simply cure some of your karma. You can use that to cure some of your bad emotions. But if you're ignorant, you just don't take it into account. Because, as I said, ignorance means not being aware to everything, or to certain things. So when you play video games, you know, all those characters are smiling, right? Because they want you hooked in. When you go on social media, you have all those fake people posting their fake lives. You either fall to that and you do it yourself because you want, you know, the competition, you want the likes, right? And you're always struggling in your real life that you don't have more likes than the other person's, right? So technically, all this society is doing is it's hooking you in so that it can simply keep you out. So it's hooking you into a fake life so that it's keeping you out of your real life. Because when you look at people, those advertisements, those people are faking happiness just for some money. When you do advertisements, you don't do advertisements with rich people. They don't need the money. You need to do advertisements with people who actually need the money and will do literally everything for the money, right? It's what I call the compliant dog gets the bone, right? All this being said, you are appreciated, take care, and don't forget, shared happiness in this society is an illusion, because everything is reversed. If you want to control people, you have to reverse the truth. So technically, everything is a lie. Control is also a lie, because in order to control, you have to own. But you come into this body, which you don't even own. If you owned it, you were immortal. But you don't own it, because it doesn't matter how fat you grow, how old you grow, you will still give it back. And also, with all your physical possessions, you will not take anything from this world apart from your karma. So, control is nothing else than an illusion. It is a necessity of the ego. It starts from the insecurities of childhood, when your crying was simply not taken into account, and you felt defenseless. So the point is, you want to justify solidity and stability in your life through control. All this being said, you are appreciated. Take care. Ferenc Board signing out.